Next question, first SEM MA Economics 2019 lo vanna mattoru question aanu. The question is that differentiate between step down approach and bottom level, that is bottom down approach. That is differentiate between bottom up and step down approach. Bottom up and step down approach. This is the one of the important question in 2019 and 20 first SEM MA Economics, that is Indian economy problems and policies. That is what is the differentiate between that is step down and bottom up approach. So in order to explain differentiate between that is bottom up and step down approach, first we explain step down and step down or top down approach. That is step down and top down approach both are the same. That is step down approach or top down approach both are the same. So in that case, that is the step down or top down approach firstly introduced by Bill Inman. That is Bill Inman was the father of that is data warehousing. That is he was introduced, that is the step down approach or top down approach. Bill Inman was the father of data warehousing. Then what is meant by step down or top down approach? Step down approach is that it aims to take a company from general endeavor to specific. That is, it aims to take a company from general endeavor to specific. That is, here there is a company's decision from general to specific. That is to take a company from general endeavor to that is specific. From general to specific, that is target, that is equal to step down or top down approach. From general to specific plans or target, or here there is a decision from general to specific decision, that is represented as here there is a step down or top down approach. It aims to make that is to take a company from general endeavor to that is specific. So at the top, that is top down approach. At the top level we have CEO. Then here there is a vice president. Then here there is subnational and the employees. That's here there is a hierarchical structure. Top down we have CEO is there. Then here there is a vice president. Then lower management. So these are the hierarchical structure of top down approach. Thus here there is a general decisions or general endeavor to specific, that is equal to the that is top down or step down approach. From general to specific, from general to specific decision, that is equal to the top down or step down approach. So here there is a decision take from top level. That's at the top level, then it passes to the next subordinates, and finally it reaches to the employees level, lower management level. Such hierarchical level of this decision making, that is equal to the top down. Top level we have CEO. Below this we have here there is a vice president, then lower management or employees. These are the hierarchical structure of the top down approach. Top level it takes the decision, then it passes to the lower level, that is equal to the top down approach or step, that is top down, or here there is a step down approach. This is introduced by Bill Inman. Next, what are the important advantages and disadvantages of top down and that is top down or step down approach? That question is that differentiate between that is bottom up and step down approach. So firstly we explain what about the step down or top down, both are the same. So make a clarification. First we explain what about its definition, then who was introduced here. Next, what are the important advantages and disadvantages of the top down approach or step down approach? The first important advantage is that employees, that is know their roles. Employees know their roles. Then first here there is a employees are know about their roles and their conditions. That's the first important advantage. Employees know their roles. And second is that levels of playing field. That's how to engage or how to take the decision. They are fully aware. That's here there is a levels of playing field. That's know about the conditions and terms in the case of the top level approach. That is equal to levels of playing field. And third is that allowed to take decision. Allowed to take decision. That is, and the decisions firstly to take the top level or the CEO. Then we pass to the lowest management, that is equal to employee. So it take allowed to take decision. And last is that then targets can be set quickly. Their targets, here there is a specify their target. So target can be set or took very quickly. These are the main important advantage of step down approach or step down, that is top down approach. First is that employees know their roles, which are the roles and which are the conditions. This is completely explained here. And second is the levels of playing field. And third is that allowed to take decision. And fourth is that here there is a target can be set quickly, quick decisions. So these are the main important advantages of the top-down approach or step-down approach. And next is that what about the demerits or disadvantages of the step-down approach or top-down approach. First is that low participation. All the decisions are taken at the top level. So that's participation of the public, it is very low. So that is the first important problem, low participation. And second is that requires a lot of knowledge at the top level. There is lot of knowledge or lot of information at the top level. This is not passed to the lower strata or lower management. That is, all the decisions are taken by the top level. That this information or knowledge does not pass to the lower strata or lower management. This is only in theoretical. That is, theoretically they argued that here there is a passing of information from top to bottom, but this is not practically not possible. That is not that requires a lot of knowledge at the top level. And then third is that does not use specified knowledge. That is the main important aim is that here there is a to take a company from general endeavor to specific, but this is not also possible. That doesn't use specific, that is specific knowledge here, specific information does not here. And fourth is that less accurate. This is not accurate in that's accurate or here it is not reliable, not accurate. And last is that conflict between low level of, that is low level of that here there is a possibility of low level of conflict about the that's low level of managers or low level of management. Here there is a conflict possibility. These are the main important disadvantages of the that is top down approach. First is that here there is a low participation from the public, and second is that requires a lot of knowledge at the top level, does not pass to the lower strata. And third is that does not use specific knowledge. This is only in theory, that is passing specific knowledge. This is also not possible. And next is that less accurate, and last that conflict between the lower management or lower, that is lower level. These are the main important disadvantage of top-down approach. So what is meant by top-down approach or step-down approach? Then who was introduced it? Then next, what are the important advantages of top-down approach and what about the demerits or disadvantages of top-down approach? Next we pass to what about bottom-up approach here. Then next is that what about the bottom-up approach or bottom-up strategy. So in the case of bottom-up strategy and top-down approach, both are common strategy used by modern businesses. This is a common strategy used for modern businesses. So this is very essential, that is essential approaches for that is the warehouse, that is data warehousing construction. This is very useful to the, that is common strategy for modern businesses. At the same time, these two approaches are using for data warehousing construction. So we completed one side. What about the importance? There is top-down approach or step-down approach. What about this meaning? Who introduced it? What are the important advantages and what are the important disadvantages? Next we go through them. What about the important, that is features and who introduced it? That is, what about the bottom-up approach? This introduced by Rolf, that is Rolf Kimball. This is also known as Kimball's methodology. That is introduced by Rolf Kimball. That is also known as Kimball's methodology. So this is just the opposite of top-down approach. Top-down approach from general to specific. So in the case of this it is a planning that specific target to general. Just opposite, specific to target, that specific to general, that is equal to bottom up, and general to specific, that is equal to top-down approach. That is top-down approach to take a company that general endeavor to specific. So general to specific, that is equal to step-down approach or top-down approach. Then that is in the case of specific to general, that is equal to the bottom-up approach, bottom level. So at the bottom, start from employees and reach to the CEO. This also hierarchical, but the top level we have lower management or employees. Then at the bottom level we have CEO. So such a type of that is equal to the, here there is bottom up approach. So that is general, that is specific to general, that is in the case of that specific target to general. In short, specific to that is general, that is equal to bottom up, and general to specific, that is equal to top down approach. Then it introduced by Rolf Kimball, so it also known as Kimball's methodology. Then in that case, here there is a top position enjoyed by, that is lower management or employees. Thus employees participation is the important features of, that is bottom up strategy. So which are the important advantage or which are the important merits of bottom up strategy? First is that there is improving collaboration. Here there is a collaboration, it is improved because that here there is a togetherness, or improving the collaboration is the important advantages of the, that is bottom up approach. And second is that motivation of employee, this is also very high. There is a too much participation or too much role allotted to the employees. Here there is a motivation of employees is the second important advantage of the bottom up approach. And third is that better financial control. Here there is a financial control is easily attained because of the bottom up, that's bottom up approach, better financial control. And fourth is that accountability of staff. This also very easily accountability of staff. And next is that here there is a faster budgeting process, because here there is a number of employees here, so there is a faster budgeting process. And next is that risk identification is also possible. Risk identification is another important advantage. And next is that broader knowledge, that is being achieved, broader knowledge or broader that is information here. And next is the ownership and participation of employee. Here there is a complete participation allotted to the employee. These are the advantages of the, that is bottom approach, that is improving collaboration. And second is that motivation of employees. And third is that better financial control. And fourth is accountability of staff. And next is faster budgeting process. And next risk identification. And next is that broader knowledge base. And last is that ownership and participation of employees. These are the main important advantages of bottom up, that is approach or bottom up planning. And next, what are the important demerits or disadvantages of bottom up? First is that inaccurate forecasting. It is very difficult, which are the future. There is future information, how it is very difficult. So here there is a forecasting is very difficult or inaccurate. And second is that potential for underperformance. Their performance is not very good. This is that potential for underperformance. That not good result. And third is that poor employee morale. Here there is their working condition, at the same time moral side, this also may be poor or weak, and fourth is that is more complex. Here there is too much difficulty or complexity, and last is this is time consuming. Time consuming. Here there is a large number of employees at the top level, then top level leads to the CEA. So here there is a time consuming process. In that case, these are the main important disadvantage of, here there is a bottom up approach. Here there is a inaccurate forecasting, and second, potential for underperformance. Their performance is not good. And third is that poor employees moral side also failure. Then here there is a complex, so much difficulty, and last is that time consuming. These are the main important disadvantages of bottom up. So we come to the point, what about top down approach? Then what about its merit and demerit? In the same way, who introduce it? Then bottom up approach, who introduce, start here. Then what about the merit and demerit? Now we enter to the last. Your question is that differentiate between bottom up and step down approach. Now we explain what are the main differences between step down approach or top down approach and bottom up. So you make what is meant by step down approach and what is meant by bottom up. Based on this, what are the main important differences between top down approach or step down approach, and what about the difference between bottom up, then bottom up approach? So which are the important differences based on that is your study? Which are the main important differences between step down and the bottom up? That is, in the case of the first important differences is that top down approach, it is very difficult. In order to calculate or in order to take decision, it is very difficult. Start from top up, that is top level to the bottom level, it is very difficult. So in the case of bottom up, it is very easy. So bottom up strategy or approach, it is very easy, but in the case of step down approach or top down approach, it is very difficult. Here there is a difficulty. And second is that this is more complex. Top down approach is complex business requirement. That is not only difficult, at the same time there are so many decisions that take decision, it is very difficult. At the same time here there is a so many difficulties also. There is a approach that is there are complex, or there are so many problems are emerging here. So about the business requirement, so complexity of business requirement, but in the case of bottom level, this is very simple. So in the case, this is difficult, this is easy, this is complex, and this is simple. And third is that consistent with the global business rules. It is more consistent, that is global business rules, but this is inconsistent with the global rules. So top down, this is consistent, and in the case of bottom up, this is inconsistent. And next is that data warehouse to data mart. Data, that is, this is an important approach used to construct data warehousing. Data warehousing construction used in the case of top down, and also here there is a step down and top down, step down approach and bottom up. So in the case of data warehouse to data mart, this is another difference between both bottom up and step down. In the case of here there is data mart to data warehouse. What is the data warehouse to data mart? Bottom up data mart to data warehouse. And last is that this is mainly used to large project, and this is it mainly used to the small project. Wherever there is large project, we are applied the top down approach. If the project is very small, we applied here there is bottom up. These are the main difference between bottom up and step down or top down approach. Your question is that differentiate between bottom up and step down approach. One is the easy and other is difficult. Second is complex and next is simple. And one is inconsistent and other this is inconsistent, this is consistent. And fourth is data warehouse to data mart, other is data mart to data warehouse. One is large project and bottom up, this is small project. These are the main difference between in the case of the bottom up and step down approach. In order to explain bottom up and step down approach differences, first, what is the importance of That is, first, what is meant by step down approach? What are the important merit and demerit of step down approach? Next, we explain what about the bottom up approach, which are the advantage and disadvantage. Finally, we conclude that what about the important differences based on your study. That is, we reach what about the important differences, or that's what about the difference between bottom up approach and step down approach. So this is one of the important question in the question paper 2019 and 20 of first SEM MA Economics, Indian Economy, Problems and Policies. Thank you.